All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Olaplex training. So I'm assuming for everyone on the call here, this is your first training, but I want to really thank you for joining me. We are going to go over the whole Olaplex portfolio. I know that there's a lot that you guys are using currently and feeling pretty comfortable with. So there's certain topics we're going to kind of breeze over, but just know that if you have any questions at all, you're obviously very welcome to unmute yourself and ask those questions. Or if you feel more comfortable, feel free to chat them in the chat function. I'm going to introduce myself and then probably go off camera if there starts to have any kind of like connectivity issues. But as long as we are good, then I will stay on camera. So I can pick up products, show you what we have going on, and make it a little bit more interactive. So yeah, with that, let's get started. So for those that I do not know, my name is Rose Holt. I am an educator with Olaplex. I've been here since actually earlier this year, so kind of new to Olaplex. But before that, I was in the education department for another brand and obviously a licensed stylist, and I've been doing hair for about 13 years. So I've had lots of fun with Olaplex throughout those 13. Well, actually, Olaplex has not been around since then. We'll talk about that in just a second. But I began using Olaplex with my last brand. And I'll kind of share that story a little bit because it was really important to a lot of the work that I did. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So Olaplex actually began in 2014. So it's a relatively new brand, but I think we all know the impact, the splash that it's made in the industry. It was a true garage startup in Santa Barbara, California, where two chemists really had a lab garage setup and they developed a product that our owners requested. Basically, they wanted to find the holy grail of products for healing or helping with damaged hair. So with that, they came up with Olaplex, which is a patented technology. It's all one single ingredient that does its main job. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But just so you know, it's whenever we say patented technology or bis-aminopropyl diglycol dimaleate, or the one ingredient, it's all one and the same. It's all the bis-aminopropyl diglycol dimaleate doing its job, relinking those disulfide bonds. And then as you see on the screen, really changing what it means in the industry, in regards to the possibilities for hair. So today we're going to talk about really beginning an Olaplex introduction so that you all feel comfortable and know kind of the history and also how Olaplex works, because I think that's extremely important for you as stylists, especially when it comes to talking to your clients. We'll do an overview of the Olaplex professional system, so 1 and 2. And then we'll also finish up with 4 and 1. So our newest product, which makes a huge difference. And then we will get into how to use 1 and 2 in services. We'll talk about the retail products, and then we'll finish up with how to talk to your clients about Olaplex so that you feel comfortable and you feel excited really sharing with them what we have. Okay. So jumping right in, what is or why do we use Olaplex? Olaplex is truly inspired by salons, but proven by science. So again, when we talk about what it is a truly patented ingredient that does this job, that makes us able to be here for you, the stylist, giving you what you need to do your job every day, hopefully even better. We're adding another tool to your toolbox so you can kind of push the limits of hair while still having beautiful hair. It's going to offer you, of course, extra revenue. We already talked about how it's patented and award-winning technology. We have ongoing education support. So of course we're here today, but at the end, you'll find some other ways for you to really feel comfortable and have other ways to connect with myself, but also more of the team. Our social media partnership is huge. So we have a huge team that's really just dedicated to basically perusing the internet, but obviously purposefully, really finding the love for Olaplex, sharing the love for Olaplex. We want to make sure that we're truly building a community, and that's really at the heart of who we are as a brand. We also have the highest number of followers for any hair care brand, which we're pretty proud of. And then of course, Olaplex works with every single color and chemical line. So what is Olaplex? Again, that patented technology is that bisaminopropyl diglycol dimaleate. So that, of course, is a mouthful, but this is a single molecule free of silicones and oils that dramatically improves the hair health, protecting from within, and then providing immediate results. So as soon as you use the product, you really feel a difference in the hair. And I think you guys have all experienced that yourselves. So what does Olaplex do? Of course, it's going to repair all types of damage. So whether that's chemical damage caused in the salon or outside the salon sometimes, but also heat damage, mechanical damage, even just brushing through, tugging through, teasing the hair, putting the hair up in a ponytail when the hair is wet, especially, all those things can be very damaging, but then also environmental damage. So whether we're going from heat to cold or cold to heat, that can be just, I would say, traumatic for the hair. Whether we're in sun, salt, all these things, again, can be damaging on the hair. And then lastly, damage caused by lifestyle and physiological changes. So we know that those can make the hair brittle at times. So Olaplex can really go in there and help to strengthen the hair. Who is Olaplex for? Of course, Olaplex is for everyone. So whether you have straight hair, whether you have color treated hair, obviously that's probably the biggest category and the easiest to go to when using Olaplex. Anytime we're doing those highlights, right? But then also when it comes to texturizing services, which we're going to spend some time talking about today, my personal favorite category to use Olaplex for is with naturally curly hair, because there's a huge movement to really embrace that curly hair. But a lot of times if it's been priorly relaxed or even just damaged, that curl pattern is elongated. So what Olaplex can do is go in there and strengthen the hair, but then also reform that natural curl pattern and really just bring out that defined curl, make the hair nice and pretty. And then lastly, extensions. So obviously extension hair is extremely expensive, and a lot of times we're reinstalling it into the hair. So doing Olaplex treatments on the natural hair, but also the human hair extensions, really is just elongating the life of that set of extensions. So getting into how Olaplex works. So I want to spend some time talking about this, because if we understand how Olaplex works, then we understand how basically if we understand how the technology works, we understand how the technology in each of the products work. And therefore it helps to make it easier to know when to use it, how to use it, and how to talk to our clients about it. So to understand that, let's take a step backwards and review this hair structure. So we know that hair is made of keratin proteins that form polypeptide bonds that are kept in alignment by the three types of bonds of hydrogen, salt, and disulfide. In order for the hair to be strong, those disulfide bonds especially have to keep those macrofibrils in line to really actually form the structure. So microfibrils really like interact throughout the hair strand. And what the disulfide bonds is keep them intact. If the disulfide bonds are broken, then the hair is going to break. So just to review the three types of bonds in the hair, of course, we have hydrogen and salt that are really broken quite often. They're broken by water and then also the pH. And then disulfide bonds are the bonds that are harder to break in a sense. But when they break, there's a couple of things that can happen, which we'll talk about. But they account for a great amount of strength in the hair, and they're much harder to reform properly. Bisaminopropyl diglycol dimaleate, of course, is going to come in and really be that hero ingredient. And it's the first commercialized product, commercialized ingredient specifically, that is reforming those broken disulfide bonds. So when it comes to a hair strand that's damaged, so let's think about just a hair strand that's damaged and not talk about Olaplex for just 1 second. If you look at the right side of the screen here, there's a diagram. And this diagram shows you two different possibilities when a disulfide bond is broken. On the right little line there, you see a single sulfur hydrogen bond. And in that case, this number 2, if you're following on the left side with the words, On the right side is number 2, right? So that's when a single sulfur hydrogen bond pairs with 3 oxygen molecules, which is a sulfate group. And that sulfate group actually creates cysteic acid, which eats away at the protein of the hair. So that means after that bond is broken, 3 oxygen molecules find that single sulfur hydrogen bond and form cysteic acid. And that cysteic acid is going to eat away at the protein of the hair right then and there, right? But then also, even after your client, let's say, leaves the salon after whatever service, or let's say they did this at home, you know, the same thing. But it's going to continue to eat away at the protein of the hair. So obviously we don't like that. That's obviously terrible for the hair, right? On the left side, you can see another possibility. And that's when, this is number 1. So that's when a single sulfur hydrogen component pairs with a single oxygen molecule. And when that happens, it's okay. That's why you see a smiley face, because no further damage takes place. Now, the problem is oxygen is greedy, so it really quickly wants to pair with one another, so form a oxygen group, right? And then that really quickly moves and forms the single, basically the sulfate group. So that runs to that single sulfur hydrogen molecule. And so when you think about the 2 possibilities here on the screen, the one most common that actually happens is that single sulfur hydrogen molecule pairing with the 3 oxygen molecules, creating that sulfate group, creating that cysteic acid, which is eating away at the protein of the hair. That's where Olaplex comes in. So when you use Olaplex in a service or on its own, it works by pairing with a single sulfur hydrogen bond faster than the 3 oxygen molecules can. So what this is doing is reforming those disulfide bonds. So that's in itself strengthening the hair, but it's also either stopping or preventing the formation of cysteic acid, therefore not giving it a chance to eat away at the protein of the hair. So again, understanding how this works is really key to understanding how the bonds are reformed and how the hair is strengthened. So are there any questions right now? Because I have a little video I can play and I'll explain it if you're more visual. But are we good so far? Are there any questions at all? Mm-hmm. No? All right. Oh, we have a question in the chat. Sounds good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to kind of narrate what's going on here in this video. What this is going to do is show exactly what happens with damaged hair. So here you see a damaged hair strand. So the characteristics of damaged hair is dull. It's not very it's lifeless. Then you zoom in and you see each individual hair strand. You see a damaged cuticle, so the cuticle is raised. Then we're going to zoom in again, and we see that those microfibrils are swollen. Then we zoom in again. And this is what Olaplex does. So Olaplex is going to form those disulfide bridges, reforming those bonds, which are ionic bonds, meaning they're permanent bonds. So once those bridges are formed, they are permanently formed. So this is really important. So now that the hair is re-strengthened, right, the disulfide bonds are formed. The hair is now healthy, which means we can zoom out and see that there's healthy microfibrils. They're no longer swollen. We zoom out again. And we see now the cuticle is laid flat. So because the cuticle is laid flat, you see lots of shine. You see shine and softness in the hair. Sorry guys, I'm trying to remove the waiting room, but that's okay. If you hear of anybody having a hard time getting in, I keep seeing someone's trying to get in, but I go to admit and they're not able to get in for some reason. So I don't know where the problem is, but okay, I think we're good. All right, so does that video help to kind of paint a picture of how Olaplex works? hopefully. Okay, I'll assume that's a yes. All right, so if you understand again how the technology works, let's move on and start talking about the professional system. So remember, so far, everything within our portfolio has that bis-aminopropyl diglycol demaleate. So the technology reforming disulfide bonds, strengthening the hair. When we talk about how much concentration of that single ingredient, that's where it's really important to understand that we're always going to be there again for the professional. I said that from the beginning. But one of the main reasons we do this is because you guys are the heart and soul of the industry, and you're the, you should be seen, and you hopefully feel like you're truly the experts in the industry, painting your clients to the right direction of healthy hair and whatever other problem solving issues they have, whether it's scalp issues, you know how to address that to a certain degree, but whether it's shine, moisture, protein, whatever the hair is lacking, you know exactly what to prescribe. And when it comes to Olaplex, we want to make sure that, again, you have what you need for healthy hair. Chelsea, you have a question. Does Olaplex replace the oxygen molecule bonding with a single sulfur molecule, or does it bond one hydrogen molecule? Good question. It is, I guess, replacing it because it is bonding with that faster. Also, does a bonding molecule create a disulfide bond or a different type of bond? So what this ingredient is basically, think of it as like a bridge. So by itself, it's going to go in there, form a bridge. Think about it as like a double-headed snake, grabbing two disulfide bonds, forming a bridge to re-strengthen it and reform it. I think that answers your question, but if you have any other, perfect. Okay. All right, so moving into the professional portfolio. So again, we have number 1 and number 2, create what I call the professional, or what we call the professional portfolio. Because this is a 2-part system that's working together to really reform those disulfide bonds at the highest extent. So that's the highest concentration of that bis-amino ingredient. So doing the most work to repair the hair. So broken down product by product, we're going to talk about the professional system and then how to use number 1 by itself, number 2 by itself, and then why we partner the 2 together. So just very high level, Olaplex is compatible with all color and chemical lines. I think we all know that by now. It's great for any hair type. So fine, medium, coarse, straight, wavy, curly, coily, any type of hair. We do not change the developer or the processing time when using Olaplex, as long as you're using the proper amount. And then for maximum repair, we're going to add use number 1, and then follow that with number 2 to, again, have the most concentration of those ingredients, reforming the most bonds. So number 1 by itself is, of course, powered by the technology. You're going to use it according to the direction. So we have to break that down service by service, but you can use it in water, in color, and then with chemical texturizing services. Again, you're going to follow with number 2 for maximum repair. So why it works, the bis-amino is going to rebuild disulfide bonds, dramatically improving the overall health and condition of the hair. This is the dosage chart, which you guys are, I'm sure, all used to seeing. It's a little bit of a condensed form. So you see the balayage and global lightening application are condensed into one little grouping here because it's the same exact dosage. But with Lightener and foils, I hope you guys are really seeing this and paying attention to it, because this is where Olaplex is great. It's a highly concentrated product. A lot of people would think, okay, if a little bit is good, then a lot is going to be better. And that's not the case. You can't have any like bad results, like as far as the strength in the hair by using too much. But what's going to happen is it's going to prevent your lightener from lifting to the degree that you're used to, or your color from depositing to the degree you're used to. So it's important to use the dosage that you see here on the screen. And also just keep in mind that this is the measurements without your developer. And I'm sure you guys are all used to that by now, because I know you're already using it and loving it. I just want to make sure we point that out so that if anyone's having any issues, that right there will help you a lot. The number 2 bond perfector is again powered by the technology. It can be used on damp hair by itself or after number 1. Generally speaking, you're going to leave it on for 10 minutes, then rinse, shampoo, and condition. It's really important to remember the number 2 is not a conditioner, it's a treatment. So you're always going to have to use it, and then you want to shampoo and condition it out. Like I said, number 2 can be used by itself or follow number 1. So how you would use number 2 by itself and why? Is there anybody currently using number 2 by itself? You guys doing mini treatments or anything? All right. Well, let's talk about it a little bit deeper then. So mini treatments is basically a great short little intro to Olaplex, because it's basically taking a 2-step process and making it just one. So what you're doing is you're just using number 2 on damp hair. You can do it prior to a haircut, or you can do it as a quick treatment when you're doing a blow dry service, or even before a color service. So what this is just alleviating the step number 1, allowing you to just apply it to the hair, wait 5 to 10 minutes, and then you're going to, of course, need to shampoo and condition it out. So again, you're not getting as great of benefits as you would if you did, let's say, a standalone treatment with 1 and 2. But if someone just has a few minutes, they're not quite used to using Olaplex, but you want to give them just a 10-minute intro to all the benefits of Olaplex, this is a great first step. You can also use it as a cutting lotion. So you can, again, shampoo the hair, apply your number 2, move on and cut the hair right away. So cut the hair with number 2 in the hair. And then after the haircut, take them back, shampoo and condition, and then move on to actual styling. You can also use it for extra repair. So you can add the number 2 to hair that's left out during a color or highlighting process or a relaxer retouch. And this just allows your clients to receive a treatment to get the benefits of Olaplex, basically while everything else is doing its job. It's also can be used to like prevent overlap, which is what you see as a protective tool while on scalp lightening. So let's say you're adding number 1 to, or sorry, let's say you're adding a lightener to, let's say the retouch, so the regrowth area. You can add number 2 to that line of demarcation on, so that the rest of the hair is first of all protected from the lightener, so there's no overlap. But then you're also getting the benefits of number 2 as you're sitting there with the lightener on it. And then lastly, a beard treatment. So the beard treatment is super simple. You're just applying it to the beard, leaving it on, again, 5 to 10 minutes, and then shampoo and condition. What this is going to do is in the beard hair, because of course the beard hair typically isn't necessarily damaged.
Hey, Rose, something is happening and we can't hear you anymore.
Olaplex as a standalone treatment can be used in a few different scenarios. So let's say the first one is a client is maybe new to the salon, or maybe they've taken a hiatus from the salon and maybe they've had some COVID experiences with their hair and done a little bit of experimentation on their own, and their hair just is not in good shape. Maybe it's so bad that you don't feel comfortable doing any chemical service at all. Doing a standalone treatment is going to, again, a standalone treatment is something that you're not using in a conditioner or in a chemical service. So you're just doing number 1 and number 2 by itself, either before a chemical service or of. And the benefits are basically just all Olaplex. So you're rebuilding those bonds, making the hair nice and healthy. So what you see on the screen here is on curly hair. And we know with curly hair, as it gets damaged, again, that curl pattern is elongated. So as you make the hair healthier, you're rebuilding, reforming that curl pattern, adding in the definition to the hair. So that's why you see the after picture has lots of shine, of course. but you see a much more defined curl pattern. In someone else with just extremely damaged hair, again, you do a standalone treatment, let's say, you send them home with a couple products, they come back to you 2 weeks later, they might be ready to do a chemical service at that time. If not, you can always just do another standalone treatment and again, give it a little bit more time. But the standalone treatment, again, is going to dramatically improve the health of the hair just after one service. So how are you going to apply it? So basically, you're going to take 1/2 an ounce of Olaplex, number one, and apply it to 3 ounces of water in a non-spraying applicator bottle. So this is where it's really important you're not aerosolizing the product. You want a non-spraying applicator bottle, like a toner bottle. You're going to take your client to the shampoo bowl. You're going to take the mixture and apply it to dry hair, saturating thoroughly. I like to take a shampoo cap and put it underneath the hair while I'm applying to catch anything that runs out of the hair. And that way we can reuse whatever's in the shampoo cap. But after you've thoroughly saturated, you just let your clients relax for 5 minutes. You're going to apply a generous amount of number 2, leave that on, again, a minimum of 5 minutes. And then you're going to rinse, shampoo, and then you can add a protein treatment if needed. Otherwise, you're just going to condition and style as normal. So notice that we do recommend a protein treatment sometimes, and this is why. So when we think about Olaplex, I like to explain hair in general has really 3 main needs. And this is any hair type, any hair texture, any curl pattern. You have the need for properly paired bonds so that you have the strength of the hair. You also need protein, again, contributing to the strength, but it's really important not to over proteinize the hair because we know that can make the hair brittle. And then lastly, we need moisture. Those 3 things in combination is going to make the hair super healthy. You need all 3, which is why, again, in some of the services, we do recommend if protein is needed, you're still going to need protein. Olaplex is not replacing the need for protein. And it's also important to remember Olaplex does not have protein in it. So again, don't forget the need for it, but then also don't worry that you're going to overdo Olaplex. It's not possible. Basically, Olaplex, the technology, the ingredients, they all work to repair broken disulfide bonds. If there are not broken disulfide bonds, it's simply just going to help to condition the hair, make the hair healthier in other ways. But again, you don't have to worry about over pairing or overusing. If anything, you're just going to be wasting the product. So it's never a fear that you need to have, like protein. For use in lighteners, again, this is something that I'm sure you guys are doing all the time from what I hear and really loving it. So I'm not going to spend much time here. I think the biggest thing to remember is that when it comes to any hair service, whether it's Olaplex, whether it's a chemical service, whether it's a texture, anything at all, take into account the buildup possibilities in the hair, because any kind of buildup in the hair can actually prevent Olaplex from doing its job, just like your lightener from lifting to the best results, color depositing, anything at all. So just make sure that if you feel any buildup or suspect any buildup of minerals or anything on the hair, you're really taking that extra step to detoxify the hair, remove any of that buildup. Other than that, for use with lightener, you're just simply going to measure the proper amount of number 1, add it into your lightener and developer, apply it, process as normal. Once the hair is processed, of course, we're going to rinse, and we do recommend lightly shampooing to get rid of the lightener in the hair, basically. Then you're going to apply your number 2 for 10 minutes, then rinse, shampoo, and condition. If we're using a toner with our lightener, the only thing that's going to change is that we're going to do basically number 1 with our lightener. Then we're going to turn around and do number 1 with our toner. Then rinse and shampoo lightly. We're going to apply number 2, leave it on 10 minutes, then rinse, shampoo, and condition. Any questions so far? All right. So for use with color, yeah, we're good on the questions, I think. So when it comes to using Olaplex with color, keep in mind you can use Olaplex with permanent, demi-permanent, and semi-permanent color. When we use Olaplex with color, remember we're repairing broken disulfide bonds, which is reducing the porosity of the hair, which is increasing the longevity of the color, which is overall creating stronger, shinier, healthier hair. Remember that high lift is still considered a color, so follow the same directions. And when it comes to how to actually use Olaplex with permanent and demi-permanent color, it's pretty straightforward, very similar to how we're going to use it with Lightener. And again, I'm sure you guys are already doing this, but you're just going to measure and mix your color at the appropriate amount of number 1 based on the dosage directions. That's what I can't emphasize enough. Apply it to the hair, process as normal. Then you're going to rinse and shampoo lightly, followed by number 2, and then rinse, shampoo, and condition again. So again, everything so far has been very straightforward in terms of directions. Again, you're adding basically number 1 into the chemical, applying it as and processing as the manufacturer directions state. Then you're going to rinse and shampoo. Then you're going to add your number 2. Then you're going to rinse, shampoo, and condition again. When it comes to direct dyes and fashion colors, this is where it starts to change a little bit. Because depending on whether you're looking for an intense, vibrant end result or creating a softer or a pastelized color, you're actually going to choose 1 or 2. You're not necessarily going to use both. And there's a couple reasons for this, but mainly because when you're using a direct dye, it's not damaging on the hair. It's the most gentle color you can use because of just the ingredients that are involved and the lack of a developer. So because of that, when you add number 1 or number 2 into your color, you're getting all the benefits of Olaplex, instead of when you're using Olaplex with a chemical, you're working to mitigate the damage basically that's being done as you're working, plus anything extra that you can do, which is why you do number 1 in the chemical, followed by number 2. But now when we're doing direct dyes, it's just simply basically repairing the hair. Does that make sense, hopefully? So when it comes to an intense, vibrant end result, all you have to do is add number 1 into that direct pigment. You're going to apply and process as normal, rinse with cold water, and then condition. We always recommend, of course, our conditioner, which is number 5. Now, if you're looking to create a customized color, so you're looking to pastelize or soften a direct pigment, I'm sure every manufacturer out there has either a clear or a white that they recommend using to, again, soften or pastelize a color. But we recommend instead use number 2. If you use number 2 to essentially dilute the direct pigment, you're not only diluting and creating the same benefits, but you're getting the benefits of Olaplex. So you're going to obviously start with your number 2, add your color pigment into it until you create that perfect customized shade or that degree of softness that you're looking for. And then apply and process. Then rinse with cold water. I would recommend a very light shampoo. Typically with direct pigment, we don't want to shampoo too much, but I would do a light shampoo to get out number 2. And then condition with number 5. When it comes to keratin treatments are the only service that you're not adding Olaplex directly into the chemical. So that's really important to take into consideration. When you're doing a keratin service, instead, you're going to do a standalone treatment first, and then clarify the hair per the keratin instructions. Then move on basically with your keratin treatment. So 2 weeks after your keratin treatment is when you can do another standalone treatment, or recommend your clients using number 3 at home. So this is where that 2 weeks is going to allow for the keratin treatment, first of all, to do its thing, but then also for that to dissipate a little bit to where Olaplex can then go in there and do its job to repair the hair. When it comes to human hair extensions, again, I mentioned earlier that this is really going to prolong the life of those extensions itself. You're going to treat the extensions just as you would human hair. So standalone treatment is going to be the biggest service that I would recommend offering. I would do it as you're doing a reinstall, let's say, and you could do it on the natural hair and then also on the extension hair. If they're coming in for a reinstall, obviously I would wait until the hair is removed, and then it's just easier. But then also it makes it easier to keep the number 2. So just like you don't want to have any cream-based product on that installation method, it just makes it easier to keep away from that. But other than that, you're going to treat the extension hair just like human hair. Standalone treatments are going to be amazing for that. And it's really going to allow that hair to just last your client even longer. So next, I want to finish up or kind of wrap up the professional portfolio by talking about the 4-in-1 Moisture Mask. So this is a new product that was just released within the past couple months. And remember I said that every hair strand, no matter what the texture, curl pattern, anything is, we always need protein, moisture, and properly paired bonds. By adding in Olaplex 4-in-1 treatment, basically this completes basically the 2 main components that hair needs, which is the the bond building and then the moisture. You still might have to add protein from something else, but this is going to really work to add weightless moisture. So this, of course, is going to have the patented technology of the bis-aminopropyl diglycol dimaleate. So it's going to repair the hair. But the biggest thing it's going to do is, again, adding the moisture, allowing for the hair to have more shine and body while still treating that damaged hair. So the active ingredients besides the bis-amino are professional strength ceramides, oils, and then the 11 vital amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, so it's not adding protein to the hair, but it's the building blocks of protein, which are helping to strengthen the hair and add moisture really from within. So it's an in-salon deep conditioning treatment that you can use by itself after a standalone treatment or with or without a chemical service. In terms of the directions, it's really simple. You're going to use it just like any other moisture mask, basically. So after cleansing the hair, you're going to apply 1 to 3 pumps of the 4-in-1 to the hair. Work it throughout the hair, leave it on for 10 minutes, and then just simply rinse it out of the hair. Couple of things with this. So I said the directions are similar to other moisture masks, but besides the directions, I would say it's very different than any other moisture masks I've used. Because what it adds moisture, but it's truly adding it from within, and it doesn't weigh down the hair. So in hair like mine, that's extremely fine. I of course need moisture like everybody else, but if I would say a lot of moisture masks are really sitting outside the hair, making my hair feel soft, but it's also weighing down the hair. When I use 4-in-1, it really works to moisturize the hair, so helping with the elasticity, helping with the styleability of my hair, but it doesn't weigh it down. So the benefits of this are it's really going to add 74% more moisture, 84% more shine, 84% more smoothness, and then 94% more body, which again, especially with my hair, the way I like my hair styled, is amazing. One other big call out is whenever you're using the 4-in-1, again, we say 1 to 3 pumps, but 1 to 3 pumps, 3 pumps is a lot. And my hair, I use half a pump and that's plenty. So it's really important to remember that, again, less is more here. You don't need a ton of product. I actually, with my clients that I still do, I like to apply the 4-in-1 to their hair and then move on with their haircut right away because it helps to save time, of course, but there's not a lot of residue from the actual treatment. So when you're doing the 4-in-1, there's no, like, it's not interfering with my combing, it's helping with my combing, and I don't have a bunch of like product on my comb. So it makes it super simple, super easy, and saves me some time. For uses, of course, like I said earlier, you can use it after the standalone treatment. You can use it after color services. And then also just as a standalone deep conditioning treatments for clients coming in and receiving a haircut, blow dry, just a new consultation because they're a new client maybe. And then anyone with just overly processed hair. Here are some before and afters that really work to cover pretty much every hair type. I would say what is the most impactful for me is the curly hair model here, because you can see that it adds a lot of shine, which really brings out the vibrancy of her hair color, but then it's also adding definition. It's helping to prevent frizz. So you see a huge impact there. So next, let's move on to at-home care. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to jump in. If not, we'll move on. I think we're good so far. Okay. So the first product I want to talk through is the number 0, which is the intensive bond building hair treatment. So it's really important to remember that number 0 and number 3, which we're going to talk about in just a second, they are made for at home. So these are products that you're going to recommend to your clients, but you're never going to need to do them in the salon. The reason being is that you have the 1 and the 2. The 1 and the 2 are the salon version and are even more highly concentrated than the 0 and the 3. So at home, the 2 used together are going to repair the most bonds that they can repair, again, at home. To use the number 0, and you'll see that now it went from a needle nose actuator to a needle, like it's a fine stream. So it still is not a spray, it still is not aerosolizing the product. But to use this, you're just going to have your clients apply this to dry hair, saturating fully for a minimum of 10 minutes. We switched the actuator because we received suggestions that clients were asking for this just for ease of application at home. So after 0, your client is always going to follow with number 3. Again, using the 2 together are going to give your clients the best ability to repair bonds at home. So you can use 0 with 3, or you can just use 3 by itself. So 3 by itself, remember, it's not a protein treatment, it's not a hydrating mask, it's simply a bond building treatment that's going to repair, protect, and strengthen all hair types and textures. At home, they're going to either follow up 0 with 3 or simply apply it to damp, towel-dried hair, leave it on 10 minutes. They can leave it on longer. They can do it 1 to 2 times a week or even more. But what it's doing is, again, having that bisamino that's going to relink the bonds and repair all types of damage. The biggest thing here is just like with number 2, it's really important to make sure that you're telling your clients to shampoo and condition number 3 out of the hair. Otherwise, they're going to be just left with like greasy, heavy feeling hair. So it's not going to do anything like bad to their hair necessarily. It's just not going to feel great. They might have a hard time blow drying their hair because this product is still in the hair. So it does need to be shampooed out. If you do have clients that have like vivids in their hair, or you can even use direct pigment to make more of like even like a brown refresh, you can custom blend your own color bomb, we call. So basically you can add any direct pigment to your number 3, giving your clients the ability to add some pigment to their hair while repairing and strengthening the hair at the same time. Number 4 is our bond maintenance shampoo. Number 4 can be used at home, but it can be also used in salon. This is a highly moisturizing, sulfate-free, reparative shampoo that leaves the hair easy to manage, shiny, and healthier. One big call out with number 4 is just how concentrated it is. I say I say that a lot during this presentation because so many of the products are just so extremely concentrated, but it's so true. Number 4 is probably the most concentrated shampoo I've ever used. So again, just make sure that your clients are not overusing the product and it's going to last them a long time. And I think that they always appreciate not only knowing how to use it properly, but you sharing with them how to use it, how much to use, so that they don't feel like they're wasting it. A little bit definitely goes a long way. Emulsify a small amount in your hands, massage it through the hair, and then rinse. And then we always recommend following number 4 with number 5 or number 8, which we'll talk about in a second. So then we have number 4P. Number 4P is one of our newest. So I'm shuffling around products here. Hold on one second. Number 4P is one of our newest products. So number 4P is going to be the Blonde Enhancer Toning Shampoo. And a few call outs with this product. You see the bottle is lavender. Has anyone used number 4P? No? Okay. Well, when you open it up, if you want to see, if you guys can see my hand, I can't see my screen here, but if you guys can see the pigment that is on my hand, you can see again just how pigmented, there you go, just how pigmented it is. A little bit goes a long way, but I would say there's a couple different things that I like to share with 4P. Sorry, I'm looking for somewhere to wipe it so I don't get it all over everything. So 4P is great for in salon because it's so customizable. For you as a stylist, it can do so many things. Obviously from a toning aspect, right? You can use it instead of a toner as just a quick, time sensitive, you need to just neutralize the last bit of yellow in your client's hair. And then you can also, so I'll talk about that. You can also use it before a toner. So if you're looking to just either deposit super cleanly or get the coolest end result you're looking for, no matter what, 4P can be in there to either use instead of a toner or in addition to a toner. Basically, the more product you use, the longer you leave it on, and the more often you use it are all going to impact just how much it deposits. For a client, if they're not looking to deposit, they're just looking to maintain their blonde, it's very safe to say, just make sure that you're, again, instructing them how to use it, leaving it on for less than 3 minutes. And using it, I would say every 2 to 3 shampoos, not every shampoo. If they use it every shampoo, they're going to get a deposit. If they leave it on longer than 3 minutes, they're going to get a deposit. But what I love about this is it's highly, highly concentrated, like I showed you. But then it is also giving you the benefits of the Olaplex technology, helping to repair the hair. And then the third component is it's a more mild or more gentle surfactant. So it is more, so basically those 3 things put together, those 2 things, the Olaplex technology, the mild surfactant is going to make it less drying than most other purple shampoos. The high concentration of purple pigment gives you 3 times brighter end results than other purple shampoos. And that's the leading purple shampoos. So again, it's highly customizable, whether you're instructing your clients how to use it at home or you're using it in salon in addition to a toner or to replace a toner. So if you have any questions, let me know. 4P is going to be used on levels 7 and above. If you look at my hair, you can see I definitely have some 10 in there. I have some 9 in there, some 8 in there, and some like 7. With my hair, if I use it every day, I definitely get a deposit. I actually did that on purpose when we first introduced the product because I wanted to see. And it wasn't like a bright purple by any means. It was just, my hair was like silvery. When I went to like every 3rd shampoo or every other shampoo, I don't get any deposit. I just leave it on, again, not 1 to 3 minutes, and it's totally fine. In one of our classes, I don't know if you guys know Kristen Brown. but she applied it to the hair and she left it on, again, same variation of levels as me. But with her client, you definitely got a purple deposit where there was the whitest hair. And it looked really cool, but she did it on purpose to see just how much she could get. She also applied it to dry hair, leaving it on 20 minutes. So again, as a stylist, knowing how pigment works, how pigment deposits, and then kind of pushing the limits of what the 4P can do. It's amazing with all those things taken into consideration. So it's very versatile. So any questions, let me know, but I love the 4P. Then going back to number 5. So number 5 is just our bond maintenance conditioner, but this packs a huge punch again, because it has that bisamino ingredient that it's going to repair the hair, but it's also giving you weightless moisture. So it's great for all hair types, and it's helping with manageability. Just make sure that, again, I think we underestimate sometimes, like our clients don't shampoo hair all the time. They didn't go to hair school. So don't be afraid to remind them how to shampoo their hair. So when you're shampooing, lots of water. When you're conditioned, you want the water out of the hair, and then add your conditioner so you're not diluting it. And that will allow their products to last as long as they possibly can while giving you the most benefit. Number 6, Bond Smoother, is another product that can be used at home or in salon. It's a leave-in smoothing cream that helps to strengthen, hydrate, speed up blow dry time, and help with frizz for up to 72 hours. To apply it, you can apply it to damp hair or dry hair. For damp hair, you can let it air dry or blow dry. For blow drying, again, it's speeding up the blow dry time, but regardless, it's helping with frizz. And again, the technology helps to add hydration, softness, and manageability to the hair. On day 2 for my own hair, because of the dry shampoo, because of texturizing products I use in my hair, because of hold products I use when I curl my hair is basically drier the next day. So I use number 6 to go in there and, like, it first of all reactivates the curling iron curl I got in my hair. It helps to make it feel nice and smooth and healthy as well. So number 6 in small amounts can be great, again, on day 1 on damp hair, but then also day 2 and beyond, to just reactivate whatever style, add moisture back into the hair, and just overall make it feel great. You can use number 6, of course, by itself, or you can add a couple of drops of number 7 and emulsify them together before adding them to the hair. Number 7, likewise, can be used by itself or with number 6. But the benefits of number 7, of course, it has the technology, but it also is going to increase shine, softness, vibrancy, while providing heat protection up to 450 degrees. A little bit goes a long way. It is a meter dropper, so you're going to want to turn it. I don't think I have one. I think I have one right here, but you're going to want to turn it all the way upside down and then tap the bottom of the bottle to get the droplets to come out. Again, a little bit goes a long way. It's very highly concentrated. Number 8 is going to be our at-home answer to our 4-in-1. So you're never going to use 8 in the salon. Instead, you're going to use 4-in-1. So what 8 does is, again, it of course has its bisamino, which is going to repair the hair, but it also has the ceramides, oils, and 11 vital amino acids to repair and moisturize from within. Add it to freshly shampooed hair, leave it on for up to 10 minutes. You can leave it on longer, that's fine too. We say 1 to 3 pumps. Again, a little bit goes a long way. In my hair, I'm still only using a half a pump. It does have an airless pump actuator here. So if you see, that's 1 pump, and that's a lot for my hair at least. But what that airless pump does is, first of all, allows your clients to get everything out of the bottle, but then it also makes it a lot easier when they're in their shower or wherever they're applying it. So it's easy to get out. Okay. So that takes us through all the at-home products. Hopefully you guys feel good about when to use them. Let's talk about how to talk to our clients about it. So what is a professional system? It's an intense reparative treatment that leaves the hair in better condition than before the service. So whether you're using it by itself, as a standalone treatment or a mini treatment or with a chemical. You're still going to either mitigate the damage plus help to correct the damage, or simply really get ahead of that damage, re-strengthening the hair, rebuilding those bonds. And this is needed because every day we put our hair through various trauma, so therefore damaging the hair. How do you talk to your clients about the retail system? Again, it helps to maintain and prevent further damage between salon visits, because we know that what your clients are doing at home can often be just as damaging or also damaging. So again, although the bonds built by Olaplex are permanent, just because they're rebuilt doesn't mean they can't break again. So it's not something that's going to wash off, but once the bonds are reformed, they can break again with extreme damage. So again, they're putting their hair through different damage every day. So what the maintenance system, what the at-home routine is going to do is just really help to rebuild those bonds, strengthening the hair between salon services. So when we think about the Olaplex treatments, there are a few different options, and just kind of breaking it down so that you can understand when you're in the salon. So that's the Pro RX here. You're going to do the mini treatment for just the quickest pack a punch in one step. You're going to apply the number 2 bond perfector to the hair and then rinse and shampoo it out. At home, a similar treatment, but not as concentrated, will be that number 3, the hair perfector. In the salon, for the most bonds to repair the hair, you're going to be doing the standalone treatment, which is with number 1 and number 2. And then at home, they're going to use 0 and 3. Again, that's not quite as much as you can do in the salon with the standalone treatment, but it's the most they can do at home. In the salon, for a deep conditioner, you're going to do the 4-in-1 moisture mask. At home, they're going to do the number 8. Again, great moisture, but not quite as much as the 4-in-1. And then if someone has just overall really damaged hair and you want to give them the most benefits of everything Olaplex has to offer, that's when in the salon, you're going to give the standalone treatment and follow that up with the 4-in-1 deep conditioner. And then at home, you're going to have them take home the 0, 3, and the 8. And that's for our clients that, again, really just want to get their hair in the best shape possible. Maybe it's a quarterly service you offer them, but it's definitely a service that you're going to offer to someone that you feel like their hair is extremely damaged. You don't want to touch their hair with a chemical service or something like that. When it comes to all the products kind of laid out, we have 0, 3, and 8 are all treatment products. And then 4 and 5 and 4P are going to be our maintain. And then 6 and 7 are going to be our protecting products. Kind of laid out differently in terms of time. So let's say our client just wants some repair. Number 3 is only going to take them a minimum of 10 minutes. So when we talk about self-care, have them do 10 minutes of self-care throughout the week, and it's going to make a significant impact on their hair. If they need more intense moisture, again, that's only a 10-minute treatment. If they need intense repair, that's a 20-minute treatment at home. So they're using 0 and 3. And then if they need intense repair and moisture, maybe once a month, or again, depending on how damaged their hair is, that's a 30-minute treatment with 0, 3, and 8 at home. I always recommend stay out of your client's wallet. Again, you guys are the professionals. You know how damaged their hair is. You know what products they need for their hair. You know if they need just 4 and 5 to maintain healthy hair throughout the salon or in between salon visits, or if they need extra love at home and they need to take home the 0 and 3 and the 8. But you know what they need. So make your recommendations based on your best judgment. And then it's up to them to decide, yes, no, I'll take all of it, I'll take none of it. But stay out of your client's wallet, let them decide what is best in terms of their pocketbook, right? You can decide what's best for their hair and make the recommendations, provide them with the education they need. Lastly, I promised you guys just extra opportunity to have, again, extra education. I encourage all of you to follow Olaplex and tag Olaplex in your work. If you guys have, we love before and afters. We love sharing before and afters. You see all kinds of before and afters, which help me make these presentations more impactful. So tag Olaplex so we can show you and share some love. You can join Olaplex users, which is what's going to be great for you guys as experienced stylists. If you happen to know any students, you can direct them to Olaplex Classroom. And then lastly, you can get certified. So that's going to be on the website or on the app. So when it comes to the app, you can download the app on Android or Apple. And this is going to be your best source for not only certification, not only extra education, but you can also join blogs. You can bounce ideas off of one another. You can access the manual, and the manual is basically all the information that I shared today plus more. And it's just a great place to access if you need anything really at all. There's also additional tools on there that we haven't even mentioned. So I highly encourage you to download that if you have not already. So with that, I want to pass it back to you guys and see what questions you have. How are we at time? Oh yeah, we're doing good at time. Do you guys have any questions at all I can answer for you? Feel free to just come off mute or chat. That's it? All right. Oh, we have one more question. Very helpful. Thank you. You're welcome, Cece. All right, guys.
Rose, most
Well,
people
if you don't have any other questions, I don't know, Matt, if you want to wrap it up, but I just want to thank you all for joining. Please reach out if you have any questions. Feel free to email me. Matt has my email, but it's just rose@Olaplex, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy your day and the rest of your week. Thanks, Matt.